Good morning to everybody. Now, today, MMPH to G05, so block 3, we have to discuss is organizational development and change. I am Biswas, academic counselor, IGNOU. So, block 3, that is a form of the organizational change. So, organizational change, what are the things? There are the unit number 8 is the mergers and the acquisitions that we have to discuss today. And your unit number 9 is the turnaround management. Unit number 8 and 9 today we have to discuss. First, we try to understand what is going on in the organizations. The organizations is an actually economic and social entity in which a number of people perform various tasks to achieve the common goals of the organizations. Organizations exist for a double purpose, wherein the facility the individuals to achieve their individual goals, all the same contributing to the organizational goals and growth of the development. So now, we need to say why the mergers and acquisitions are required. Slowly, we have to understand. Before that, structure of the organizations. Let's see. The contemporary organizations, however, have become complex. Now, what are the really it has seen is day by day, it is now complex nature is coming up in the organizations. Uncertain and lot of ambiguous in the we have seen of the post-COVID era. Earlier it was different. Now, lot of challenges are coming in the organization sector. But this is attributed to the certain factors impacting the functioning of the organizations, both internal and external. Lot of unseen and uncertain conditions are persist. So organizational trends, let's see. Organizations are impacted by the external environment, which is characterized by the globalizations and the competitions worldwide and in India also. So organizations are forced to rethink. Now in this censure, in this context, so organizations are forced to rethink, revise the mechanisms of changes in the external environment. Parallelly, government is also initiated a lot of initiatives are taken care. However, still a lot of things are to be done. Contemporary organizations need flexible systems and the process which allow the autonomy, flexibility to encourage the creativity and the innovations. So organizations have the flat structures with fewer levels of supervision and empowered employees to take decisions. Organizations have the flat structure with fewer levels. Contemporary organizations are networked organizations and resulting in the direct communication across the departments and the teams. So all the previous scenario are showing all these things. Internal and external forces of the change impact of the organizations, shaping it and showing a direction to it. So impact are coming from the internally and the externally, and finally, after the impact, that organizations are taking in a different shape and different directions are coming up. So the organizations are redesigned and restructured using the several forms like mergers and acquisitions. Now we are coming to the merger and acquisition. So basically, mergers and acquisitions are required for redesigning and restructuring the organizations. Turnaround is another aspect. Then you are re-engineering the process through the business process, re-engineering, etc. So what we are seeing, one is the business scenario, or you are forced to take the organizations, you have to plan for the redesigning, restructuring. For that, you require merger and acquisitions. Turnaround management is also required. Re-engineering. So all these things are thus all type of steps are to be taken. The successful ways of meeting such contingencies in the restructuring, the current restructuring models all over the world appears to be the phenomenon of the mergers and acquisitions. Every merger or acquisition goes together through a learning process of its own. Peter Drucker in 1981, for instance, provided a set of rules of successful acquisitions. Now, see the history of the markets. Historically, merger and acquisitions could be traced to the American or the British business and the commerce activity. So it has started from the America and the British. They have started their business through this merger and acquisition process. So that's why from there the terms has come merger and acquisitions. There are four waves occurred between 1897, 1897 to 1904. Then again another wave, the second wave is 1916 to 1929. The third wave is 1965 to 1969 and 1984 to 1999. There are four waves means during that period lot of mergers and acquisitions has been done. I mean that scenario of changes that they companies, especially for the American companies are started this process. This evokes the major activity and impacted the structure of the American business, transforming medium-sized business to huge multinational corporations. Most of the, you see in India, most of the multinational companies are basically the parents are only USA, Britain, or Denmark, or other companies. Developed countries, companies are spreading throughout India, throughout world research. Now, first wave, 1989 to 1900. So, what is the depression of 1918-93? So, what? These mergers affected major mining and the manufacturing industries, with the certain industries clearly demonstrating a higher incidence of the merger activity. Now, the second wave, 1916 to 1929, was characterized as a margin for monopoly versus margin for oligopoly. This wave considered several industries and the resulted in many oligopolistic industry structures. They are monopoly and most of the productions are circulated Now, third wave, 1965 to 1969, it is featured a historical high level of market activity, which may be partly attributed to a often problematic market activity. So that can maximum the type of it was not uncommon for the relatively other companies that what happened today big company they are acquisition through the acquisition topic they are captured mostly small companies so that they can start their monopoly or things so that they have in the market so that they have a more passion, more profitable business. Now, the 1989 continued the downward trend of the third wave. The third wave is and same thing it is continued. The unique characteristics of the food so any different way markets are coming, which can become accepted by so I can say that food is nothing almost we have carried over the outdoor system. In addition to that, expand it more with different characteristics, and there should be unique characteristics in a corporate culture as start. So, during revolution, often seen as one of the reasons for these applications approximate disproportionate number of marginal acquisitions. The airline industry you see as a classic example where the airfares became a subject to greater competition and leading to a competitive positions of the air carriers where some deteriorated under unable to compete the effectively. So here the fares will be different and they are getting slowly a lot of competitions has come in. Now merger of the 1990s that features large mega mergers. In the 19s where you can see the mega mergers, fewer hostile deals and the more strategic mergers. As the economy recovered from the recessions, companies began to expand and merger for efficiency. Two companies or more, we can say, that had separate ownerships are now operating under the same roof, usually to obtain some strategic or financial objectives. Merger typically refers to two companies coming together, usually through the exchange of shares to become one. Now, merger, we can clear the concept. Basically, there are two companies are togetherness, and form a in terms of potentially they are togetherness. The shares are for exchanging the shares. What are the market values? That agreement they have done through this merger process. Acquisitions typically one company that buyers, the buyer who purchases the assets or share of the sale. So the form of payment being cash or some securities to buyer or other assets, the value of the shares they are adjusted in this way. The term takeover represents a transactions where the cash changes hands in exchange for the shares. That case it is a you can say the takeover. Though every such share transaction is in itself is by consent. Whatever the transaction, that time you have to take some consent. Uh, so far as the existing controlling interests are concerned, and those control over the corporation is being displaced. The takeover attempt may be with their consent or it could be hostile to their interest. So these all are the definition of the different things. Your merger, acquisition, takeover, different concepts are there. Merger refers to a situation in which two or more existing firms come together and form a new entity. Other way we can also explain on the other way, that is a merger refers to a situation in which the two companies existing company firms are together and form a new entity. Either a new company, it may be incorporated for the purpose of the existing company, survives, and another existing company is merged into it. Normally, the bigger and the smaller companies merge together with a common purpose. So one of the big company and one of the smaller company, they are for the common purposes they are merged themselves. So mergers occur in two ways. One is the merger through the absorptions and another merger through the consolidations. So totally it is absorbed. Other way it can be through these consolidations can be merged. Now we have to more clarify about the merger through the absorptions. So absorptions is a combination of the two or more companies into an existing company. It means that all the companies except one will lose their identity in the merger. So during the merger, so identity will be lost by one. Normally those the companies are big, not profitable, not big. Small companies normally are merged with the big companies, and the name will be different in the name. Suppose in the case of HP and the Compact, demonstrate how HP and Compact merge with each other. So now only we can say HPM. HPM. Compact we are not seeing anywhere. So Compact are merged with it. Then identity is also lost. Now HP identity still exists. Mergers through the consolidations. So a combination of the two or more companies into a new company in terms as the consolidations. So all companies are legally dissolved and a new entity is created in this type of merger. So here the combination of both the companies and a new company termed there, and the entity will be totally new for the both. So the assets, liabilities, and the shares of the acquired company are transferred to the acquiring company for cash or exchange of the shares. This is the way. So when Bell and Atlantic and the GTE was merged, so Bell Atlantic and the GTE, so Verizon Communications was born. So one different name, Verizon Communications has come. Similarly, in the pharma sector, you will see when the Sandoz and the Siva was merged and your Novartis was created. So different new company, pharmaceutical company has formed. So there are so many examples are there. So this is a consolidation process. But earlier we have seen that is your absorption process. One identity loss, but other one exists. So this is, in this case, HP and Compact we have seen. HP is remain same. There is no change. Compact as diluted. I mean, there's identity has lost. But in this case, both the identity has gone and a new identity has emerged. So that is your consolidation. The type of mergers. A organizational experience evidence different type of mergers, some of which are given. So some of the merging process is given. Horizontal mergers. So when the two companies selling similar products, services in the same market combine, it is known as the horizontal mergers. And for example, SBI is a merge all its subsidiaries in the finance sectors. So this type of merger occurs more frequently as a result of large companies attempting to create more economics of scale and attract a large market share, etc. So this is the horizontal merger. Now coming to the vertical mergers. In the vertical mergers is a merger between the two companies in the same business industries, but at different stages of growth. This type of merger reflects a buyer and seller relationship. For example, Mark, a healthcare company, merged with many of the medical equipment companies to leverage its brand. Here you see the similar, I mean, here the business is on the same companies. So in the same business industries, in the means maybe the drug, they are one of the healthcare companies manufacturing the medical equipment companies, and different medical equipment. They are merged and creating another one. So that is a vertical merger. In your conglomerate mergers, now you see, it is just a multi-industry company. A merger happens between firms that are involved in totally unrelated business. Now here the point is not a related business, it's an unrelated business. Such a merger occurs when the companies are not competitors, because most of the cases we have seen the mergers are formulated by one basically the similar nature of business. But in this case, the business are not related. Such a merger occurs when the companies are not competitors. Basically, they are not competitors and do not have the buyer or seller relationships, but are made up with the unconnected business. This is unconnected. Like the example is the Bajaj Group, the Godrej Group, ITC Limited, JSW Group. These all are different business, and they are joined together. These all are your example of your conglomerated example mergers. Now, triangular mergers. Practice also shows a triangular merger where a foreign company buys a local company by exchanging the shares of the subsidiary located in the country of the local company. It is different aspect now. Talking about the foreign companies, they are buying a local company by exchanging the shares of subsidiary located in the country of the local company. So this is all we can say is a triangular mergers. Now, what is the reason behind it? Why the mergers and acquisitions are happening? To understand the things, so I just say merger and acquisitions are clearly more strategically motivated. Jobs are gained, not lost, as a result of these deals. Experience shows that the companies were built and not destroyed. So merger is one of the blessing. Basically, merger is a blessing for both the companies because where they can earn more, job creativity is there, product range will be increased, market value will be increased, share market is also will be increased. There are a lot of advantages also there. The financing behind the deal is more sound and secure than ever before. Buyers use their stocks and the currency, and the sellers gladly accept this form of payment in lieu of a or in addition to cash. This forces both parties to work together on a post-closing basis to enhance the shareholders' value. Merger and acquisition are driven in many cases by the trend in a given industry, such as rapidly changing technology, uh, then your fierce competition, changing consumer preferences, cost-effective products and services, then you're sinking the resources, etc. So all of the one of the key issues, key points. The global village has forced many companies to explore merger and acquisition as a means to develop an international presence and the expanded market share. This market penetration strategy is often more cost effective than trying to build an overseas operations from the scratch. Because if you start any business in the overseas from the scratch, it will take more time and more efforts is required. Otherwise, if you penetrate in the strategy, you take in a market, taking acquisition and merger, so it will be easy to because it's already established some of the things. So you can add on some of the things and you can different statistical uh, view you can take and minimum effort you can get it. Because if you wants to penetrate in the market, then it will take time and maybe the cost effective also. So to what the cost cutters, so you have to search in other overseas countries similar type of product and any companies are there, then you can try to merge with them or if the acquisition process can be done, then it will be more easy. Now the possible purposes of the acquisitions are procurement of the supply or procurement of supplies. Acquisition could be safeguard for the source of supply, for the source of supplies of the raw materials, or we can say the intermediary product. The obtained economics of the purchases in the form of discount, savings in the transportation cost, overhead cost, etc., and also finally to standardize the materials. So some of the possibilities and the purposes are described here. The procurement suppliers. Then revamping the production facilities. So one of the most important purpose of the acquisition is to achieve the economics of the scale and by the amalgamating productions facilities through more intensive utilizations of the plant and the resources. So you are revamping the productions, you can increase the productions in a very right manner. The market expansion and the strategy, the most important purpose behind the merger and acquisition is to eliminate competitions and protect existing market. So that is one of the purpose. Another thing is the financial strength. So one of the most important purpose of the merger and acquisition is to improve the liquidity and cash. So financially it will be strengthened because you have to have a more liquidity and cash will be there when you are in the merger process. General gains, that is the purpose of the merger and acquisition is to improve its own image and attract the superior managerial talents to manage its affairs. So this general way, lot of gains are there because superiors will be attract more. They have a chance to show their managerial capability, their talent. They have a lot of managerial activity will be there. So lot of affairs will be there. Lot of meetings, lot of negotiation process. So they can show their talent, and it will improve their image, own image. Development plans. The purpose of the acquisition is backed by the offerer company's own development plans. Then your some of the agencies whose help is needed in the mergers and the takeover. What are the agencies are required from where to take for the help for this process? That the advisors is required because the advisors is a chartered accountants or can be a financial consultants, merchant bankers, stockbrokers, or the legal consultants are the important because they know each and all the integrity and lawfully they can do all these things or the nitty-gritty, what all the things are there, they can very easily identify and solve the problems. Financial institutions, bank and PFR, that is in mergers and the takeovers between the companies where one or both of them are debtors to the financial institutions. So this is the one of the take advice or from the advisors of the financial institutions is how to take the loan process or any debts is there, how to sort out the things. So you have to take some help from the financial institutions. Legal provisions. So improvement of the social interest, involvement of the social interest in the economic activities. It implies the application of the law with a view to regulate the activity to ensure safeguard of the general public interest. So in business combinations, in any form of takeover or the mergers, the individual and the community interest of different parties, namely that is shareholders, then your creditors, employees, and the customers are involved for different areas. But different they are already in this process. Now, see the alternatives to the mergers and the acquisitions. These alternative strategies are, this is one of the joint ventures. This is all of the alternative strategies. That is your one strategy or alternative to have the acquisition available to today's small and the growing companies in a legal or structure known as the joint venture company. So this is one of the alternatives. Another thing are franchises. Over the last 2 decades, franchising has emerged as a popular expansion strategy for a variety of product and the service companies, especially for small business. Even in the startup type also, they are starting from there. That cannot afford to finance internal growth. For example, your McDonald's, KFC, these all are franchising and they have throughout the world they have a business. Technology and the merchandise licensing. The licensing is a contractual method or developing and exploiting the intellectual property by transferring rights of use to third parties without the transfer of ownership. So licenses are basically for the market, uh, so that give us some authority for the marketing purposes, licensing authority to sell this product, or they can develop the exploiting these things. So it is some sort of uh, without transferring the ownership, business can be uh, together you can do it all these things. Distributorships, the distributors and the dealerships. Many growing product-oriented mergers and the acquisitions companies choose to bring their product to the marketplace through dependent and the third-party distributors and the dealerships. That also we have some of the raw materials or maybe some of the parts, special parts. You can get it from these the dealerships and the distributors itself, which are not available here. Maybe the manufacturers or the companies will be in a different place, or may not be in India. They can have some other overseas itself and the foreign companies. But because of they have some of the dealerships and the distributors, they have taken. So this is the way also you can improve your business. You can be survive your business organizations itself. So this is all are, you can say, the alternatives. It's all the alternatives of the, you can say, the allied parts for the markets and the acquisitions. Management of change is and will continue to be a natural. Now we have to discuss about the turnaround management. So here actually you have to see why it is the turnaround, the meanings, and why it is needed. So management of change is and will continue to be a natural concerns for the most organizations in India. This is because of the business environment in India is launched into a process of irrevocable change in 1991 by the liberalization policy of the Indian government. Because that time it has happened suddenly, most of the companies were in the sea, that the business are not growing, the growth is not there. So to create the things, and because of the liberalization policy, it has boomed and slowly it has given some of the mark. This has exposed the Indian organizations to global competition. Slowly, Indian companies are in a competitions. Technological changes are there, increase the customer demands. So all these effects are, these all are influenced the Indian market. So modern organizations are concerned with the turnaround strategies. What is this turnaround? This is a condition, just to try to explain. Organizations turnaround when a firm becomes overextended in a given market, when its efforts economic reversal because of the competitive or other environmental pressures, when the customer demand for the products or services declines, the firm may choose to withdraw some or all its resources from the business ventures or attempting for the turnover survival. So all of the situations are given. All these situations we can define as a turnaround. In such a situation, the turnaround strategies come into picture. So when all these situations will come up, then you have to take some strategies. That strategy you can call is a turnaround. Now, need for turnaround and management. The Indian companies thus were exposed to the competitions, performance culture, swift technological change, and swift changes in the customer and your stockholder demands. So consequently, a number of issues of a diverse nature forced India to orient the Indian business to the global standards and the benchmarks. The immediate concern was industrial sickness, unable to face steep competitions from the external players, which resulted in the turnaround strategies in the organizations. Need for turnaround management. Turnaround management as a form of managing change. Turnaround management has attracted many organizations in the early 1990s and 21st century also. Now, some of the strategies we have to discuss. What are the strategies for the turnaround? There are some internal growth strategies where organizations organizations deploy the international growth strategies to start with so as to sustain an organization. Means the question coming to sustainability. So sustainability as one of the point. Market development is yet another concern where the organizations would internally try to increase their customer base. We are talking about the other internal growth strategies because internally it is forced to take some of the decisions. You have to take some decisions or the strategy you have to take in because of the internal problems. External growth strategies, that is your organizational resort to a number of external growth strategies through the horizontal integrations, vertical integrations, outsourcing, or conglomerate diversifications to be cost effective and all the same. Be equally quality conscious while implementing them. So this is all your part of the external growth strategies. Now, your disinvestment strategies. This is your include the turnaround, retrenchment, right sizing, downsizing, and liquidations, etc. So some of the disinvestment is also because of that. This is one of the strategies because you are retrenchment. Some of the you feel downsizing the things. Some of the staff should not be there, or maybe they have to skilled enough. So, or what about the in the market? They have to liquidate all these methods. So this is one of the way. Experience evidence that a combination of these strategies generally followed for disinvestment. So these are effective only when an organization implements them together. So all these things have to be not in a split way. Altogether you have to implement the things. Then only you can achieve that this is the way you can this process, this strategy can be fulfilled. Now turnaround management is a process that is dedicated to the corporate renewal. So here one of the point is corporate renewal. So you have to have your focus to be there in the company. Not only the corporate renewals, total organization renewals, we can say. So it uses analysis and planning to save inefficient companies and returns them to a stable control or situations. When the companies are unstable conditions, what are the resources are not utilizing properly, inefficiency is there. So then you have to analyze and you have to plan for that to save the conditions and so that the company can be in stable situations. So in this process, it also identifies the reasons for the poor performance and that leads them to a profitable situations. So one of the advantage you can say this type of conditions, when you start analyzing and the planning for that, at the same time you are listing or you can get the performance results. Why it has happened? And accordingly you can lead them to a profitable situations. So that you can have a chance to modify the things, you can reestablish the things very easily. The process normally involves a review of management that is called the SWOT analysis. Strength, weakness, opportunity, and threats. So this analysis is very popular. Through this analysis, you can causes of the sickness, why this company is sickness, you can identify. And one by one you can remedy. What are the solutions also you can explore. Turnaround management, again, there could be three possible outcomes. There are three possible outcomes of the turnaround management strategies. That is your tunnel decline. This situation occurs when the strategy chosen was wrong. Sometimes it has happened. Whatever the strategy is taken, that is a wrong strategies. And the poorly implemented strategies. That means it's not implemented rightly. Another outcomes, that is your continued failure. In some situations, the strategies fail every after they are designed and they implemented well for various reasons. It has failed. Consecutively, 1 year, 2 year, the losses situation always. The management and the governing body, the employees believe that the repositioning and a restart with a new strategy could possibly avert the failures. So this is one of the outcomes. Another outcomes for the turnaround management, that is your successful strategy. Organizations plan for success and implemented it in the same spirit. When the objectives are met, it is termed as successful. So when we can say it is a successful strategy, when everything are implemented nicely and all the objectives are made, and we can say it is successful. So from this analysis or through this turnaround management process, we can different strategies can be come out. The concept of turnaround is a recent phenomenon. The recent phenomena, when a weak company is acquired, it is rapidly subjected to turnaround management. Most of the cases it has happened because with a weak company, suppose you have acquired the weak companies, so it is rapidly subject to turnaround management because anyhow we have to revive. So reviving or the production increase and the staffing, everything has to be renewed. So strategy should be there. Also, when a sound and profitable company has been purchased, because if you purchase a profitable company itself, it is subject to some form of the turnaround management, because this case is also the subject to resize and synergize so as to increase the profits, because it is a good company, profitable company, even though you have to re-energize, you have to synergize the things. All the energies can be put together and further growth and further increase the growth profits and the shareholder values can go down. major acquisitions. So it has also happened when it is announced some of the companies are merging. When it is focused, the notification has come in the paper or newspaper, the TV channels. We have seen the share market will be increased. Some of the companies, even though all the profitable, everything is very good companies, still some is a little bit off. The share market will be, the value will be up because the process are anticipated that will be increased, the profit will be increased. Because when the two companies are merged, there are a lot of energies are coming up, joined together, CEO has changed, new CEO has come. So all these combination combinations are giving a big effect. So the turnaround is also confused with the downsizing and the restructuring. So all the time the downsizing or restructuring is not a turnaround because it is depending on the strategies. So although downsizing might be part of a turnaround plan, right? It is not a total plan. So it does not by itself just continue to a startup. So turnaround management includes an element of the crisis management. So another inclusion is the crisis management because when the particular company there are some crises that there, that time you have to take some strategy or the turnaround strategies so that you can cope up the situations. So it also you can say is the element of crisis management. When the crisis management is also when the decision are taking is also a part of the turnaround itself. It's in a different way. So turnaround activities are also triggered by acquisitions, mergers, and the privatizations. The activities most commonly initiated of the left are when a smaller company has been acquired, when two companies in the same industries are merged, when a state-owned company just in the privatized. This is all a triggering point. Turnaround management has also been looked at from the domestic and international perspectives. So both the way you have to see. Turnaround has been properly referred to as a recovery of the decline performance. So we can refer to this when the particular company are declining the performance. If we implement this, then we can say it's a turnaround. So decline being the relative to the benchmark like GNP, gross national product profit productions and growth. So definitely we can say as some turnaround is required. So the turnaround was defined as a basically you can say in gist, in summarize we can say there is a recovery of the profitability from a loss situations. So when the companies are in the loss situations, and from there you have to just take out your takeaway from there and how to recover the things, whether your profitability can continue and you have to attain some of the profitability. Suppose the 3 years continuous in a decline situations, profit or not, suddenly due to some strategical implementations, and this suddenly is a turn into the profit things. So that means the curve is now in the upper direction. So you can say now it is turn. So you can say also it's a recovery. Now it is always a recovery that we have seen in the share market, most of the companies are like this way, where the values are decline. Suddenly now it has the recovery and goes up. So we can that situation also you can see it's a turnaround. So there are other elements are there. Some of the elements are influenced in the outcome of the turnaround management. They are your whether the organization is a manufacturing company or a service company. The industry is represents product structures, reputation brand of the company, size of the market share, competitor profile, and the positions. These are all are influence. Some of these all are the elements which are the influence the turnaround management. So the turnaround in terms, otherwise you can explain the turnaround management. What will be the result? What will be the outcomes likely to be getting? That all these elements are as a determinant of factors, or you can say that elements are that they influence the things to create the situations. So what are the elements? That is your service company, whether the service company like this, then your industries, and then the product structures, reputations, brand, the size of the markets, all are equally affected. The process of the turning around and the organization has the following steps. Some of the steps are different, whether it is an external team and your internally managed turnaround team, a decision before accepting your turnaround management. Then once the decision emerges on the turnaround situations, then you have to start rethinking, revisit, or to be done to confirm the decisions. So it means when the decision emerges, decision has been taken care, and turnaround situation is there. So we have to rethink and revisit to have to then confirm the decisions. So yes, the decision has been correct or not. Arriving at the numerical targets, objectives based on the earlier performance will be the next step. So some of the targets are there, numerical targets in the mean, suppose you are targeting the 20% profit should be there, or this is the objectives, set it by 10 objectives. All the objectives have been implemented, and what is the performance, earlier performance and present performance, compare all these things. So that part has to be seen, whether it is arriving or not, which we have calculated, or we can say which we have already estimated that numerically or maybe objectively. So all these things are achieved or not. So everything are based on the earlier performance. You have to compare it. Then the process of turning around the organizations, there are some steps up there after these contributions. Next step related to the financial grounding, where the cash is the first concern, is not profits. Because profit is not there, then definitely the cash is one of the factors. Taking charge of the situations on the ground, assume the significance. Then establishing a tighter set of controls, both in terms of financially and strategy in the next step. Because if the things are not flowing, the money is there to control. Financially control is there, and other terms. And the strategy also that has to be fixed at time, target has to be fixed, which allows the organizations to control the financial impact and the strategy deviations. So any strategical deviations are there that can be meaningful. So it should not be restricted to the things deviations, because some of the things are unavoidable. You cannot 100% target cannot meet. At least some limitation should be significant. It's not be very high. So that has to be taken care. Lessons you learned by these systematically following a cross-functional mechanisms. Then you are finally gaining the acceptance of the team and the formal approval. Then the plans are then implemented and followed the adequate monitoring mechanisms. Insight for the software stuff, you can see that there are a lot of turnovers. There is one of the example. They are the successful turnaround of the business. It's all with the monitoring and mechanism systems. So there is a board spectrums are there in the turnover situations. So which are include the ownership structure of the company, urgency of the crisis. The company must be radically the cost reduced form of the organizations. the management team presently in the place change. So all these are the situations, the broad uh, your spectrums or the turnaround situations. Whether the turnaround manager will be the long-term CEO or not, that is also affecting. CEO is one of the major things. Whether he is assisted by the others or not, degree of freedom, how much he has given, political pressure is there or not, the time available for the decide the priorities and the actions, whether he is taking his sufficient time or not for the actions, suitability networks and the tools used, suitability network and not are also then. In addition to these parameters, the number of factors also affect the turnaround situations. That is, they are like whether it is a trading company, service, or manufacturing company. That is one of the things that they are one of the factors. Which industry is represents, the product structures, the size of the market share, the reputation of the company, and the competitor profile and the positions. So all these things are additional parameters and which are affect the turnaround situations. These all are the factors that they which are affect the your turnaround situations. So they are majorly mostly the competitive profiles and the positions are very important. And size of the market, because the sufficient market size should be there, at least 20-30% market share should be there. Otherwise, turnaround cannot be successful. Product structures has to be there so that we continue, production process can continue. And there is all these reputations. It's also important, branding, advertising. So reputations are very important. If the reputation is deteriorated, lot of defectives are quality is not maintained, then it will affect your turnaround process situations, because the defective once is spreaded through this virus, through this network, customers are not satisfied, they are returning the products, then it will create another issues. So that we have to be careful about the reputation of the companies, so that we can have a successful turnaround process. So this is all these are monitoring and managerial side. So how to manage the turnarounds, total process and systems. So I think so. Anyway, I think thank you very much for listening all these things, and next videos we have to cover up other units also. So okay, thank you.